Topics! Yay! Not really. So politics. The last of the 3 topics that I choose to talk about that are forbidden. Oh yeah, I got my tongue pierced. Yeah. Politics. Okay. I am registered as an independent, which is kind of my little cop-out, because, you know, I really didn't know what I wanted to be. I know I lean mainly towards Democrat, liberal views, but at the same time, I have conservative feelings. But politics has always been very complicated for me, because when I think of stuff for politics, I don't think of what I particularly want. I think of what's best for everyone. What do I mean by that? Well, abortion, for an example. When it comes to abortion, I am personally pro-life, but politically pro-choice. Why is there a difference? Because my thing is, if you believe that abortion is wrong and immoral, do not get one. But if you are not part of that group, you have the right to do with your body as you please. As I said before with faith, you do not push on other people. And I find it offensive that people would really like to have control over people's bodies. And don't get me wrong, I understand. I am privately pro-life. I think that life does begin at conception. I do. For me. That's what I believe. And I would not get an abortion. That's why, you know, protection, stuff like that. You should do it. But for people who don't follow my religious beliefs, or believe that that life begins at conception, or don't care, it's not my issue. That's between them. It's their money, it's their body, it's their kid. And just because I wouldn't do it, and because it's not right for me, does not mean I have the right to decide for people. And I especially feel that way with rape. I'm about to get really loud right now, and I shouldn't because it's late at night. But that issue just burns me. Because there was a situation in a news thing I read about this girl who was raped. She was 6 years old, and I don't even know how a 6-year-old could get pregnant. That means she has to get her period and shit like that. But she got pregnant, and she had to get an abortion because her body could not hold a baby. And she got excommunicated because of getting an abortion. I'm just thinking that's disgusting. How can you tell a woman who has been raped, completely lost of all her power, her body, everything, everything she is just gone, and then tell her that if she gets pregnant, she has no choice again? She's just been removed from her choice. It should be her choice whether she wants to keep that child or not. And to women who have been raped and choose to keep their children, they are strong women. They are brave women. And they should be completely congratulated for doing that. But women who don't are not cowards. No woman and no man should have to be raped and to be forced down and to be forced to perform acts that they don't want to do. No one should. And while there are some who can deal with that, I know I personally would rather die than be raped. Rape to me is the worst act you can do to a person. That, molestation, anything where you take away someone's power is wrong. And that's why I can't agree with making Roe v. Wade overturned. Because it's not right for everyone. Not everyone believes what you believe. How can you make laws based on a single religious dogma? That's not fair. We're not a religiously ruled country. Just because we have people who have a large majority who have Judeo-Christian beliefs does not mean that our country should be run by them. And I say that as someone who has Judeo-Christian beliefs, even though I'm not Christian or Jewish. I have some of those faithful issues, but I don't think that we should run our country based on them. It's not for the people who don't carry those beliefs. We're not an Islamic country. We should not be ruling by a certain religion. We're not uniform like that. It's not right for everyone here, and it's not fair. And what really irritates me about that is because when it comes to stuff like gay marriage and gay rights, which I proudly support gay rights, because they are civil rights and they should have them. It shouldn't be an issue of, you know, civil unions or marriage to me. Churches will not be sued, and it cannot be sued because they don't give, you know, do not choose to marry two gay men. There are plenty of churches that do. They can find one. And I don't think it's right to sue a church for not, you know, marrying two kids if they don't believe in that. That is their right as a church. But as a country, we should not tell people that they just can't do it. What do you mean it's going to ruin the sanctity of marriage? We have the highest divorce rate. People get divorced left and right. People get married 8, 9, 10 times. And you mean to tell me that a couple that loves each other can't get married? They can't raise a family together? What kind of stupid shit is that? And what I can't stand is how people will say, you know, people can do what they want, but don't tell me to like it. I don't agree with that lifestyle. And yet, those same people want to push a Judeo-Christian lifestyle onto people in this country. That's a hypocrisy. How can you tell people that you don't accept their lifestyle and therefore they should not make you like it, but then you want to push your lifestyle on other people and say that they should like it? That makes no sense. I don't understand that. And I guess that's my issue with kind of the more conservative party, is that they want to tell people how to live their lives according to a religious belief that I may believe in, but do not think is right for everyone. I don't even believe some of the stuff that they say makes sense. I don't understand how you can say that we should not teach sexual education in schools and only teach abstinence, because that totally worked for your kid, right? She was so abstinent that she had a baby. Awesome. I don't know how that happened again. Twice. Lucky. I wish I could have immaculate conceptions. But in all seriousness, that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Because there are still people who believe that if you do certain things, you can't get pregnant. Still do. There are still people who could pay unprotected sex and don't know they get pregnant when they are. And it's just like, I don't understand that. How do you not want children to know how to be safe? Just because people, you know, just because you think of the whole be fruitful and multiply, again, that's a personal choice. As a personal choice. I don't want children. People always say you should not have sex when you're ready to deal with the consequences, or unless you don't want children. I don't want children probably ever. I don't know if I want to have biological children. I probably feel like I want to adopt children. I don't want to have biological kids. I really don't think I do. People say, oh, I'll change my mind. I don't know if I will. If I do, so what? The point is, I don't want to have biological children. Does that mean if I decide to engage in sexual intercourse, I should always, you know, I should be prepared for the consequences? I prepare myself, you know, if something happens, to have a backup plan. But it doesn't mean I should completely ignore my own body because I don't want to have children. I should wait until, you know, I decide I want to have children when I'm 50 then to have sex. That's ludicrous. Now about presidents. Not getting into that. Don't care. Not that I don't care, but just like, it's not even like that. It's more to the fact of Congress keeps jerking off about not knowing what they want to do. And, oh my god, what I think is fucking hilarious about how these people are talking about how they want to cut, like, arts and programs like that. And I just think to myself, how can you... I was watching Real Time with Bill Maher, because that show is hilarious. And they had a Tea Party female member on the episode that I was watching. They're talking about the arts and how, like, she loves the arts and whatever, and how she feels like, if people want arts, they should, you know, encourage them, support them, you know, put their kids into dance lessons and whatnot. What money is going to be paying for these art lessons and these dance lessons and all these little clarinet fruit thingies? Because when my brother went to school, he wanted to play an instrument. He could only play the instrument unless it was, you know, supported by the school. When that got cut, he didn't play the instrument anymore. Because he can't. Because you can't afford it. Okay? People with money can afford when stuff gets cut to go put little Mary, Sue, and Jane in, you know, a little dance class. But little Taquanda and Mauricia, they're not going to get dance lessons. They're not going to get that kind of attention. Because they don't live in an environment. They don't have the money for it. And I really... Was it Huckabee? Huckabee, who was talking about single mothers the other day. Oh. I was so heated. I was so heated. That was just one of the most horrible things I've ever heard. I was so heated, and I hate to use that term, but I was. So I'm just thinking, yes, single mothers totally be like, yeah, I'm gonna sleep with you, I'm gonna get pregnant on my own, I'm gonna ditch you, I'm gonna struggle, I'm gonna work real hard, all kinds of crazy shit to support this child all on my own, and I'm totally not gonna be able to go to dance recitals and concerts, and they're probably gonna be able to run the streets and I won't know, but I had to make money, but that's alright, because this is what I want. I want to be a single mother with my little baby, take care of you all by myself. That's all I want in life. Like, who the fuck says that? They take those extra hours. They put in all the effort to be mommy and daddy. Not everyone has a grandma who can watch them. And everyone's so quick to say, you know, they should pay attention. They should be in their children's lives. Well, they want to, but they also have bills to pay. And I'm sorry. I'm thinking of it from a realistic perspective. If your child wants to be a ballerina, dancer, whatever, and they just want to twirl around and have fun all the time, that's great. But she can't make every recital because people have to work. Do you want that tutu? Well, mommy has to go out and pay for it. People completely ignore single fathers, which is, I think, is equally horrible, because single fathers have to also deal with the fact that they are not taught to be capable of children. People assume that single fathers cannot take care of kids, which I think is equally horrendous, because a father is completely capable of raising a child on their own and dealing with children on their own, and they can do it. I mean, I come from a two-family home, but my mom works, and my father stayed home and took care of us. And my mom, there were days where I didn't even get to see her, because when I went to high school, and she worked the afternoon, evening shift, when I would go to school, she would just be coming home. And when she began ready to go to work, if I didn't get home on time, I wouldn't see her. So I wouldn't see her for like 2 days. But she was making a living. She was working hard to make money, to put food on the table, to put lights on so I could get my education, and then one day take care of her. And my father, he cooked, he cleaned, he took care of the house, he took care of us, he helped us with our homework. He loved us, he nurtured us. I mean, he did everything a mom is supposed to do, and he was a man, because there is no reason men are not capable of taking care of their kids. They completely are, and they can be loyal, and they can do those things. People ignore them for some reason because they feel like, I don't know why they ignore them, but they do. But either way, if you're a single mother or you're a single father, if you're a single parent, it is not a shameful thing. It's a hard thing, and no one wants it, but you should not shame them for it, because they did not plan for it. Accidents happen. Those people who are just irresponsible, that's another fucking story, because you should know how to use a condom. But of course, if they want to teach you sex ed, then maybe it's not your fault. But the point I'm trying to say is that people should not tell others how to live their lives when they don't have to deal with the kind of struggles every day. It's very easy for you with your money and your health care and your happy, happy life to be like, you, be good. Stop being a single mother. You are breaking the family unit when you have your home and your kids and your beautiful home where you can go on vacation and you can afford to give your little children anything they want. But sometimes those who don't have that privilege are forced to make sacrifices. It is, to me, a blight on our country that we do not give equal rights to all our citizens. It is a blight. Because how are we any better than the countries that we claim to be perfecting with democracy when they do the same thing? It's ridiculous to me. And I am not saying you have to agree with gays. Guess what? I'm not saying that, if you don't agree with gay marriage, that you're a homophobe, okay? I am saying that it does not matter whether or not you agree with it, because it does not affect your life, okay? The sanctity of marriage will be upheld when you uphold it with your relationship. But I feel that by denying people the right to be who they are, you are creating damage that cannot be undone. I remember I was watching when there was a whole strain of gay kids committing suicide, where they showed the thing about this town was voting about, having a gay appreciation month, and this one girl came up, I don't get an award or month for being white, Catholic, and a virgin. I just felt like saying, shut the fuck up. Honestly, I know that's horrible. I was like, shut the fuck up, because you get every single fucking day. You get every single day. Every single day you get. You have no reason to be ashamed of being white, of being Catholic, or of being a virgin. And if people do give you looks for it, you flip them off and tell them they can go suck a dick. Because you should be proud to be who you are. And I never understand the whole thing about White History Month. What would be the point of that? I should have put this in the race video, but what's the point of White History Month? Is that not like all history? Because when I was learning history, when I learned global, we spent forever on Europe. No one gives a shit about Africa. No one gives a shit about, most Asian stuff. They talk about, Ming Dynasty, Ping Dynasty, all kinds of Ing dynasties, and then they leave. I don't care. You learn about white history every single day. Our country is built on white history. Do you really need a month to remember that? There's no reason for the month system anyway. It should be incorporated into learning all the time to begin with. But because first of all, it has become almost irrelevant, because every single year everyone just like, you gotta write a report about a black historian. Okay, Harriet Tubman, Sojourner Truth, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. You get the same 4 papers every friggin' year. Every friggin' year is the same 4 papers. I'm just like, whoa, calm that shit down. Okay? Oh, immigration! Yes, forgot about that one. Okay, here's my thing about illegal immigration. I will say this, we cannot keep everyone. We don't have, enough resources for everybody, but even that's questionable. But what I find to be ridiculous is how they're like, all these Hispanics come, they take our gerbs, like that soundbite from him. They took our gerbs! I didn't know you guys wanted to be gardeners and maids so bad. Like, you understand people come to this country illegally and they get the best job. Like, they just come to this country, I am a CEO. Like, no, they work in the lowest, worst paying environments that they can get. And you don't want those jobs. You don't. You don't want to be a maid or a gardener or a nanny or, any kind of bullshit like that. You don't. No one does. That's why immigrants take it. Illegal immigrants especially, always take the shittiest fucking jobs. That's what happens. And while illegal immigration is definitely a problem in the sense that it has led to racial profiling of Latinos and Hispanics, completely ignoring the fact that there are white immigrants that can be here illegally all the time when their visa runs out, and the fact that we still give refugee status to Cubans but don't give them to people, who actually have governments that are trying to kill them all the time, like in Haiti and shit like that. Oh, speaking of that, let me tell you something. I hate when people were just like, when Japan and when the earthquake in Haiti happened, everyone was like, oh, gotta give money to Haiti, donate to Haiti. As if those people gave 2 shits about Haiti's 5 seconds before that earthquake hit. No one gave a shit about Haiti except Haitians. After that, the entire world was like, oh my god, I can't believe these things are happening. It's so horrible. And I'm just sitting there in my house like, yeah, you just found this out? Like, I thought everyone knew about this. Apparently not, which is very surprising. But then again, I come from a West Indian background, a Caribbean background, so I would know about that. But everyone's just like, oh my god, help Haiti. We gotta save Haiti. I can't believe all these horrible things are happening in Haiti. I'm like, where the hell have you been? This isn't news. The earthquake is, with all the horrible things, it's not news. They're the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. They've been that for a long fucking time. They've been collecting the statistics for a long time. It's not new news. It's only new news because that was a tragedy, so now everyone cares. Everyone's like, we have to help Haiti! Because it's like a trend. No one gives a fuck. It's just a trend. They just feel obligated to go and reach out and help those poor Haitian, those poor black people. We gotta give them money. Even though it doesn't even go to their homes, because if it did, it would be fixed by now. Like, if all the money you put into the Red Cross actually went where it should be, we would totally not be as fucked up as we are now. Like, think about it. Think about it. But that kind of stuff just irritates the hell out of me. I hate when everyone just starts making it into a trend and they start talking about, oh, we gotta help these poor countries. You don't care. Stop pretending that you do. You only care because something bad happened. Because it pulls at your heart. It's like, look at these poor people. The atrocities that have happened. I can't believe it. It's like, this has been happening for years. And I know for me, it sounds like I'm being a bitch about it. But it's more the fact that I don't like it when people use a tragedy to suddenly act as though they have cared for the plights of a group of people forever. Because they have not. If you honestly, you didn't know, and it's like, you see it and you're like, oh, that's horrible, I want to donate money. It's fine. I'm not saying that you shouldn't donate. I'm just saying that people will take a tragedy, look at it, and then suddenly be like, oh my god, we gotta help them. And it's more like a trendy thing. And then they forget in the next 5 minutes. After they give money and think, oh, over. It's done. They've been fixed. We gave them our American dollar. It's not true. It's ridiculous. And that's what makes me sometimes even kind of hate seeing those commercials, because I just feel like you're not doing anything. You're putting it into the pockets of a corrupt government, just sliding right up in there, and nothing is going to be fixed. That was my really weird politics rant, which did not have that much politics about it in retrospect. But that's because I don't consider myself to be a Republican or a Democrat. Even as an independent, it's kind of bullshit so I can vote. I think of myself as an intellectual who tries to think of what's best for the country and what I think is fair for all of its citizens.